Came from the Section 8 buildings, tryna cope with murders and killings. Them streets cold, little nigga, I done lost all my feelings. Tryna turn a rap to a million. Ride around the city with a strap, I'm a realist. Talking to a nigga who fearless. A lot of pain on my heart, gotta pray for the healing. Change life, I'm still hanging with killers.
They both came to Los Angeles as artists.
Okay.
In like working couples.
Okay.
With different people.
What's up, sister?
And then they met and their like friend group broke up and then they ended up together.
Okay. Well, look at that. Look at God. And so you've been here ever since?
I'm born and raised on this block, man.
Oh yeah, in Hollywood? Hey man, you ever seen us out here?
I have.
Yeah? What you think about what we be teaching?
I think it's interesting.
Have you heard the message, the core message? I know you were sitting over there for a minute.
I've heard some of it.
Yeah, okay.
I've sat and listened a couple times.
Yeah, well we teaching that. You say you Mexican, right? Your pops? What does Mexico mean? What does the word Mexico mean? Do you know?
It comes from Mexica.
Mexica. Is Mexica a Spanish word?
No.
No.
Nahuatl word.
Nahua word, that's right. You know the Nahua language has distinct, unique ties with the Hebrew language. Did you know that?
I have heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still has the same numbering system where every letter is also a number, and so each word can add up to a different total number, like you can with Hebrew letters.
I'm not sure about that part, but there is a linguistic connection, and it's a unique linguistic connection, meaning that it's only those two languages that have that. You understand? How did that happen?
I don't know.
What's your guess? What do you guess? How you think? I'll tell you what my guess is.
I guess
You second Esdras.
probably have some sort of similar distant relative civilization.
I agree. And that distant relative civilization is the ancient nation of Israel. So a brief history on the ancient nation of Israel, right? They come into the land of Canaan and they began to be populous and they began to gain some power over there with King David and King Solomon, men that we can identify in history, right? But from there, right, after King Solomon was on the scene, the nation as one, there was 12 tribes, they split up.
Yeah.
So it was 3 tribes that stayed in Judea. The other 10 tribes went off and did their own thing in the northern kingdom. So fast forward some time, the northern kingdom starts going to war against the Assyrian kingdom. The Assyrian kingdom takes them into slavery, right? Puts them into bondage, right? This is around the 7th, 8th century BC. So it's a long time ago, right? Let's read about what happened after this. Read.
13. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive.
So during the time of Salmanassar and his reign, he led the northern kingdom captive, right? Go ahead.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land.
So if you're familiar with the geographical locale, it's talking about the Euphrates River, carried them across, right? Go ahead.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
Now at the time, the Assyrians were beefing with the Babylonians. They had a war. So as they're occupied in this war, the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes who were subject to the Assyrians, had a clever idea, right? While they're occupied in this war, let's do this.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
We need to relocate to a place where somebody don't be living. Yeah. We know a place.
Well, they're distracted up here.
Yep. Let's relocate. Let's go. So boom, let's go.
That they might keep their statues which they never kept in their own land.
Right, so they wanted to keep their customs. Part of that custom is that Hebraic language that we talking about, right? Read.
Ew.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Right, so they go into the Euphrates, come out east, go around the Horn of Africa, and they end up into the Americas, right? So when you look at various different journals and literatures of the first contact with the indigenous tribes of the Americas, a lot of them assert and tell them, like, look, we actually descend from the east. We descend from our, common ancestor, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
And this is how we get that linguistic connection, as well as the customs that they would follow, right? A lot of their spiritual systems or various different things have ties back to the Hebraic spiritual system. It may be a little bit off or a little bit different or maybe contradict a little bit, but the core essence is there.
Yeah, it's like a game of telephone.
Exactly, game of telephone. So it's distant from them, so they don't have the full understanding, right? But they have inklings because of the, what got passed down to them, like circumcision, for an example. They circumcised themselves back then. You know what I mean? Them Aztecs and the various other tribes within the, Mexica, right? Go ahead.
This is 1 Chronicles 12, verse 32. And of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the time.
So the children of Issachar had understanding of time. You understand? And that's important because when we look at the Aztecs, right, something that they're famous for, as well as, amongst the other things, their agriculture and their, civilization building and all that type of stuff. They're also famous for having what's called them calendars that they had, right? And the calendars is broken up real distinctly, different time periods, different sections that add up to 144,000 days, right? 144,000 is a significant number to the Hebraic ideology. You understand?
72-fold name of God.
Exactly, right? So, boom, that's another connection we can tie into it. You understand? So they had, like I said, distant customs that they can tie back to, right? But they didn't have the full understanding, right? And so what happened to those Aztecs? Do you know the history of what happened to those people?
After
Leviticus 26.
Cortez came in.
Hernan Cortez, right? What was Hernan Cortez? What was their symbol that they came and conquered with? Do you know? Are you familiar with that?
Not specifically, no. If it's not a cross, I don't know.
It was an eagle. That Spanish army had that eagle that they would banner around, right? Let me show you something about the Israelites, because when you look at the Israelites, God's chosen people, he made a contract and an oath with them and said, listen, if y'all stop listening to me and stop following after me, a whole lot of bad things and negative things is going to happen to you nationalistically, right? So let me read a couple of these negative things and you just give me your thoughts and ideas on it, right? You got Leviticus 26? I'm going to go here first, though. Go ahead.
So where's it talking about the eagle at?
48.
Yeah.
40 something. 44. No, you on 28. I had Leviticus 26.
1 second, King, 1 second.
Swift that eagle is like 40 something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
So it's funny enough, one of the curses was said the Lord's going to bring a nation from far. Spain and Mexico is very far, very, large ocean in between that, right? And they said as swift as the eagle flieth. Eagle is an apex predator, which is why a lot of times those Western European countries would have it as their symbol, right? Read.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Here we go, the tongue, the language, right? Here they come speaking Spanish to y'all. Not only do they speak it, they force you to speak it. And they force me to speak English, the British, right? Read.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
So if you look at that sign right there, you'll see that little, toddler?
Yeah.
See what he's doing?
Like it's picking cotton.
Yeah, he's picking cotton. It said this nation of people is not gonna have any regard to the age, from babies to the elderly. And that's exactly what the Spanish did to your people. You know what I'm saying? From the top to the bottom. They came with diseases. Disease was a big part of how they conquered your people.
Disease spreads as fast as the eagle flies.
Yeah. Hey, and guess what I'm about to read about diseases right here? Read this real quick. Another curse regarding the Israelites. Go ahead.
This is the book of, this is the book of Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 25. And I will bring a sword upon you that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant.
A sword is like war. War is going to come upon you because it's going to avenge the covenant, like I said, the oath that they made, right? Read.
And when ye are gathered together within your cities,
Are you going to be in your cities, right? Living, dwelling peacefully. Read.
I will send the pestilence among you.
The pestilence is going to come with that war and that sword. Read.
And ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy.
Sounds pretty familiar, right?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, it's pretty uncanny.
Right. And those are just two examples. We can go all throughout the chapter of Deuteronomy 28, chapter of Deuteronomy 4, Leviticus 26, and all these things tie back and fit our people, Black and Hispanic people, right? And it's patrilineal, so whoever your father is who you descend from, because your father carries the seed, so on and so forth, right? So that's what we teach it, man. That's our history.
I dig it, man.
I just read you Mexican history in the Bible, man. You understand?
I love it, man. Thank you for sharing. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And so for us to get back, right, to the top in the illustrious civilizations that we once had, we got to come back to the code. This is the key right here. If this is the reason why we went into slavery and all these bad things happens, this is going to be the reason we're going to get out.
Amen
Exactly,
to that.
man.
Amen to that.
All right, bro?
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, man.
Did you get a flyer?
You got a flyer from us? Oh, you live around here, huh?
I do, but yeah, let me
Take a flyer from us real quick, bro.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You know? Tap in with us, man. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
All right, bro. Hey, what's your name, man?
Bob.
Bob? It's good talking to you, Bob. Hey, man, you're a great guy, Bob. You know? I want you to be a better guy by keeping God's commandments. You understand
That's
that?
right.
Hey, man, that's all we can do. You know? Give me Ephesians chapter 4, verse 22.
No shit, I got the full armor of God, them darts gon' miss. I ain't the type when it's hard to abandon the ship. I'm standing down with my brothers, I'm never gon' leave them. No matter if I lose my life or I lose my freedom, I'm a servant of the Lord.